Today we have an extremely special guest, man. The one and only Tina Wilson, stars Tina as I know her as, and I am very excited to be able to have this queen on the Loyalty and Friends podcast, man. And we got to do it in style. So she is looking fabulous, and it's so funny. I have locks as well. I just kind of got it covered up right now, Tina. But I've been on my lock journey. Ooh, we're almost approaching 3 years now. So almost 3 years I've been on my lock journey, and I just love the natural look, man. You are looking fabulous, queen. So
Wow.
good to have you. How you doing tonight? How you
I
doing?
am I am doing amazing. And two things I want to say really quick. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to Ashley because that's how we got connected. And I
Yes.
always say your vibe is your tribe, like who you're surrounding yourself with. And she is a spark of energy. And she's always, from the moment I met her, she's been talking about loyalty and friends. And just your name alone, loyalty. I mean, if you're going to call yourself loyalty, I'm hoping you're super loyal.
That part, that part. You cannot walk around with a name like that and not be true to it. And it's
Yes.
funny, like that was kind of my rebirth, I would say. When I became loyalty, it happened after me losing my brother. Unfortunately, he died in a tragic car accident and on my daughter's sweet 16th birthday, Tina. So my
Older
daughter
or
had
younger
just
than
turned,
you?
yes, it was 2020, February 3rd, 2020. That was my daughter turned 16. And that morning, the first call we received was about my brother, and he actually transitioned. He fell asleep at the wheel, and unfortunately he didn't survive. His son was in the car, but my nephew, he lived, and God is amazing. Like, just the story alone. He did come out with some injuries, but a few months later he was doing everything known to man. He was walking, running, swimming, doing everything. So, and I'm like, wow, I don't see how it happened so quickly, because if you would see the car, it was unrecognizable. You wouldn't even think anybody could survive it. And my nephew, we just have to hear in his words, he shared that my brother actually told him to move to the back of the car because they had a long drive and he wanted him to get rest. And if he wasn't in that back seat, he would not have survived that car accident whatsoever, because it was only a small portion where he was. He broke both his legs and fractured his collarbone. But when I tell you, amazing kid, and just the way he processed it, he helped me get through that situation. I'm the oldest, so not only did I feel like I lost a brother, I felt like I almost like I lost a child almost. They very my siblings really much depend on me. So, you take on that with honor, especially when you're the oldest kid. So, but
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
yes, I have three brothers, with my one trans brother who transitioned, and only one sister who's so dear to me. Like, she don't do any wrong in my book, period. But that is my baby. But yes, it was five of us. And man, just going through that, you learn how to turn your pain into purpose. I think that's so important, that, things don't necessarily happen to us. We may not understand it when we're going through it because it's tragic and it don't feel good. But when you challenge that pain that you're going through and you give it purpose, it really helps you look at it totally different. And my brother is, man, he was my rock. He was the most loyal person I know to this day, and why I'm loyalty to this day now. And that's kind of where my name came from as well, loyalty and everything. He did music, but they team was LIE the team, and LIE meant loyalty is everything. I just turned the is to in because that was his story. And now, he passed the torch. So now it's time for me to reinvent and, show people who I am, the power that I always had. I just didn't know I possessed it. But enough about me, Tina. This is really about you tonight, Queen. And I really want to give you your praise and glory because, man, I see you rocking it on your Instagram. I'm a big follower, okay? So you may not know it. I follow in silent. I'm like, man, this queen, I wish I can be just as bold and brave and just, have that persistency as you do. And just watching you, and just your smile is just beautiful. It's very contagious. And queen, I just like, okay, I need to know, who is this lady? Who is Tina Wilson? That's what we need to know tonight. That's what I want to
Wow,
find out. Who is
wow, wow.
Tina
I
Wilson?
don't think you want to know. I don't think you want to know.
I think I want to know, and I think our audience would love to know as well. So, with that being said, I want us to start by, you just sharing a little bit with the people of who you are. Who is Tina Wilson? Tell us a little about yourself.
That's a loaded question. You know that, right? Because there are layers and layers and layers and layers to who I am. Well, my name is Tina, and I think it's so cool. Stars Tina, it's not a new name, but it's sort of like my Beyonce to Sasha Fierce. So my name is Tina, but
Okay.
Stars Tina is that person that I turn into when I have to get into my superpower. So we
Mm.
all have superpowers, I believe. And for me, my whole life, I've always wanted big things. Actress, model, dancer, like you name it, that was me. I'm going to the top. So I always felt of that saying you've heard them say, reach for the moon, and if you fall, you're still amongst the stars. So that's where
Yes.
Stars Tina came from. And I just turned 50, girl. Woo,
How,
woo,
50 where?
woo, woo.
50 where?
Yes,
I'm
yes,
looking like, okay, sister, you got to give us the tricks
yes,
tonight. I need to
yes,
know because Queen, you are wearing it amazing. And I never would have thought 50. I'm like, where, Queen? You are fabulous. Wow. And then if I
thank
look like
you.
that at 50, Queen, I know I'm going to be blessed beyond measures. But wow, that is amazing. I'm like,
Hi, thank
wow.
you. So it's different. Like I used to always be the youngest girl in the room. And in a nutshell, if I could just share, and I was gonna get prepared, but I said, you know what, I want to be organic. I know you gave me questions. I need to look at the questions because I want to speak from my heart. So pretty
Okay.
much I just turned 50. I'm a fitness professional. And like you said, turning that pain into purpose. And for me, I guess it started 8 or 9 years ago when my mom's like, Tina, you're getting kind of fat. And no one wants to be told that, right? My phone's ringing. Ignore that right there. Sorry, sorry.
I'm
She's like, you're
sorry.
getting kind of fat, and I was just like, really? So I started my fitness journey. And when I started my fitness journey, I just wanted to be confident and sexy. That's most women, right? You want to be confident. You want to be
Yes.
sexy. So I lost the weight, and then after I lost the weight, I kept going on with the fitness journey, and I realized it was bigger than that. And I always say, no matter what you do in your life, pretend it's an onion and then peel that onion back. And as I
Mm.
peeled the onion back, I realized the real reason why I was into fitness. My father died when he was 49 years old from a massive heart
Wow.
attack in his sleep. Like looking at him, he looked super fit. He was a construction
Mm.
worker, but black man, cigarette, blah, blah, whatever, whatever.
Right.
So I've gone through a lot of traumatides in my life, like yourself. This is a word I
Mhm.
made up. They need to put it in Wikipedia and the dictionary. So a
Yes.
traumedy is a trauma and a tragedy combined. When these two
Mm.
energies collide, they make a life changing moment. I've had many life changing moments. I can go back to when I was a teenager and committed suicide because for some reason I thought my boyfriend breaking up with me, my life was over.
It was back then when we was teenagers, girl. It was like the end of the world. I can't live without him.
Thank you, girl. Like
Yes.
I think about it now and I'm like, really, Tina? Like he wasn't even that cute. Okay, he was that cute. But anyway, so we can go back to that. And my father dying, my grandmother dying super young. But then the major, biggest trauma of my life was when my son was murdered at 29 years old. And I believe that was God's, all the things that led to my son was preparing me for that huge trauma. And that I've turned that into my mind and body transformation program. So I'm a fitness professional. I run an online fitness boutique studio because you give me lemons, I'm making lemonade. I'm turning everything around. During
Yes.
COVID, before COVID, I was teaching like 15, 20 classes a week because I didn't even realize this loyalty. But the night my son died, which was a Friday night, February 26th, a little bit around your brother's time, 2016,
Wow.
I got the phone call at 9 o'clock. Long story short, that Saturday I had to teach. I've been teaching the class, and I've heard your son is, I'm there. Your son died. I'm like, okay, I got to get someone to cover my class. So I was always
Yes.
into like following up. So I went to work the following, few days, and I was doing this the whole time after he died, just keeping busy, keeping busy. And then I started taking yoga. Long story short, I didn't even realize it, but I was developing a program that cured me and then can help cure other women that have gone through other traumas. And I say a trauma could be as
Mm.
simple as empty nest syndrome. I don't know if there's any moms out there and their kids leave the house and you're like, oh my God, I'm home
I'm
alone. What do
I'm
I
going
do?
through that right now, Tina. Like,
Oh,
it's crazy you say that about the empty nest because I have three beautiful girls. I have a 20-year-old daughter, I have an 18-year-old daughter, and one that's 15. But I also have a bonus baby now. I'm taking care of my niece full time. Ooh, it's challenging. She's only 2, but all my natural
oh,
kids are no longer home, and at first it's almost like you like, man, like where do I go from here? So I could definitely understand that. And it's just a difference, and I had to kind of channel that. But now I kind of embrace it more because it gives me time, a little bit more freedom to do what I do. Not
Yep,
always
yep,
have to be
yep.
so involved. But
Exactly.
also still be able to be a mom, but have that balance. So yes, I
I
definitely
love it. I
can.
love it. I love it.
Whew.
And I say that because some women, that could be major for some women. Everyone has a situation. We can't compare
Mhm.
anyone else's. Well, my life was harder than yours. So I run an online fitness boutique studio during COVID. Everything shut down. So I started teaching classes online. It's been up, it's been down, but I do that as well. And each year, I like to get trained in something new because I believe I'm always learning from yoga to nutrition to you name it every year. And last year, someone would say, "Well, Tina, you'd be a good life coach." I'm like, "What is a life? What is that?"
Right.
So I did the life coaching program, very expensive, so worth it, helped me. And
Mhm.
now I have a program, it's called a mind and body transformation program. And what I do is I work with women mainly that are over 40 that have gone through some type of trauma and they need support. They need tools and skills and strategies to get through it. So that's what Tina is doing now, along with the Clubhouse, the YouTube. I want to do a podcast, so I'm super excited. This is my very first one. I was supposed to do one on Monday, but
Ah.
she rescheduled. But you are my first.
And I'm honored. And Queen, this is amazing. Your energy is just it. I will tell you that. And sometimes it's crazy when we go through tragedies. Like I got a couple questions, in reference to that, because I mean, you shared something very deep. You lost your son. And I haven't lost a child, but I couldn't imagine like one of my kids being taken, you feel like too soon. You understand? Because you didn't get to, typically it should be the opposite way around. You should be bearing your children versus your children, what opposite. They should be bearing you
Right,
versus you
right.
having to bury one of your children. So just to have to deal with that situation, and you just continue to move forward and just continue to work. Did you ever have that time where you had to just take a stance and go through your grieving stage?
The craziest thing, girl, is it happened this summer,
Mm.
6 years later. So as I told you, from the first day, I was like this. And this past summer in August, we did an event in New Jersey, and I was leading the event, and I'm one of those control people. I want everything to run perfect. And I was like,
Right.
Tina, I texted my daughter. My daughter's name is Divinity. She is amazing. And I said, I think I'm going to take that Xanax stuff. What's the stuff? I said, what's that stuff white women take, to calm them down?
Right.
And she was like, Mom, you are not doing that. She said, if anything, take a natural, take a gummy or something. I was
Right.
like, okay. So I went to the store. I said, give me some. I took a gummy. Apparently, you're supposed to take half. Girl, let me tell you, let's just say 2016 replayed in my head right then and there.
Oh
Every
man.
single emotion. So I didn't cry at his funeral. I didn't
Mm,
cry at his after party. And I say after
mm.
party because I was like, it's going to be super lit. Like, I have to say this funny story. We had his friends. He owned a sneaker boutique store, by the way,
Okay.
a very successful sneaker store. The funeral, they actually closed the high school down so kids could come to the funeral. He was 21. There were like 500 people at the funeral. And then I said, I want it to be fun. So I told my family the first hour could be for family. I said, after that, I want his friends to turn up because he's a sister, and how you were close to your brother, him and his sister were very close. So I said, okay, family, they're about to change the music because my son loved Lil Wayne. You might want to leave now because the music quality is going to change.
Yes.
So I think I got off the topic with that whole thing,
I
but
know,
just
but that's
pretty much,
okay.
well, like I was saying, in August, all the feelings from then came through. So at the funeral, girl, I bought these expensive glasses. I was like, okay, I want some. I paid $300 for these glasses because I'm like,
Right.
you're gonna be crying. I didn't wear the glasses once. I was not crying because I was helping and supporting everyone else. People were coming up to me crying, oh, I'm so sad. So 6 years ago, which was this
Mm.
past August, it all flooded on me. And girl,
Mm.
it was crazy. I was sitting outside, the sun was shining on my face. And I was just like, what mother doesn't cry at her son's funeral? And I was crying and if you were walking past Broadway Park that day, you were like, what is wrong with that girl? I was crying about the funeral. And the park we were at, we had a death birth for him. What is a death
Mm.
birth? It was in August, was his birthday. So we had a birthday party. So I called
Mm.
it a death birth. So then I'm thinking about his death birth, how I did, it was like all his friends were there. It was a cookout, whatever. And I'm just thinking of all the things that I've gone through for 6 years. Then I went back to my sister, getting mad at my sister because when my father died, I didn't see her cry. Getting mad at my mother, just, and it went all the way back to slavery days, girl. I could
Mm.
feel the slaves like help. It was wild. I'm gonna hush because
But I say this, I can relate because when it came to my brother and his passing, I'm the oldest, and my mom was very numb. She didn't know how to channel that pain. And so it was almost like she was there, but she wasn't. So I wanted to take that burden off for her. And I stood up, like I helped plan his funeral from beginning to end. We made his obituary. When I tell you, my brother he had a magazine style obituary. It was like 6 pages with beautiful pictures. It was amazing. So I didn't, it did hit me at the funeral because I decided I was going to sing at my brother's funeral. I was always the one picked on in the family to sing at everybody's funeral. Like that was just
oh
my calling,
wow.
I guess. But but I took on that assignment. And for some reason, once I got down, I just knew I had everything together up until that moment. And that's when I really broke down. And it was like, wow, like I didn't understand. And for me, I went through a major depression after that. I was like 200 plus pounds, Tina. I dropped weight. I don't know how. And it's crazy because some people who didn't get to see me for a long time, because I was very isolated during that tragic time in my life. But I feel like God was purposely isolating me for a reason because it was something that He needed to speak to me about so I could really realize what my purpose was. But I dropped over 50 pounds, didn't exercise, didn't do anything, but my eating habits changed because I don't think it was just like food wasn't the first thing on my mind. It wasn't that I was intentionally starving myself. It was just I was going through my grieving phase. So I mean, the weight came off in a great way. Don't get me wrong. I'm still looking fabulous, and I was able to keep the weight off. But when people ask me that, it make me a little insecure because I'm like, I don't know what to say. When they say, "Oh, how did you lose all this weight?" I'm like, I don't know. Y'all don't realize I went through depression. It was through my depression that I lost weight, not because I did anything to lose the weight. But now that I'm smaller, I'm like, okay, I need to maintain this and get more active because as we get older, our bodies become, you start having pains, aches, and pains that you didn't even know that exist. And I'm getting to that transitioning stage at this point.
How long's it been
I'm
with
not
your
gonna put it
brother?
all the way out there, but I'm close to 40. Just know that, just very, very close.
When did your brother pass away?
You said when?
Mm-hmm.
February 3rd of 2020.
22. Oh wow, that's close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
But
That's right.
now I embrace it because I remember the month before my brother passed, he told us he didn't want us to be sad. That was just not in his. He's like, I don't want people just sitting around crying about me. You gotta live life. You have to
Girl,
continue to live life.
how was that conversation? Because I always say I think people know when they're about to go. Because I definitely know my son. He knew because
It
he
was
loved
definitely
lived
one
life.
of those type of conversations. I think he knew. It was I don't know, it was very weird. It was because the way he was speaking about it, like he embraced death. He was like, when it's my day, I'm ready. Like he spoke about it in a peaceful manner, you understand? And when I think about it now, that's why I don't have those sad moments at this point, because I'm like, wow, my brother has given me more in his transition than he could have ever given me in life. And I wish I could tell him that, but I know he's hearing me. So it's like I truly believe people don't necessarily leave us, because energy doesn't die. We know this, right? So what happens when you
Okay,
actually transition? You go into your spiritual realm. So we don't have the physical part of them, but we do get that spiritual. So I'm a true believer, and I know if you see this picture behind me, I know they can't see it on here,
yes,
but we
yes,
can see it
yes.
on the stream. That's my brother. So I almost like pictures used to scare me because I used to think he was really looking at me. But I appreciate him because if I didn't go through that tragic situation, I wouldn't be who I am now. I wouldn't be loyalty. So I just embrace it. So
Yep,
I want to
yep.
get more into your fitness and what you do. So I do got a couple questions for you. We're going to go to a few of them. We may not answer all of the questions, but I do want to ask just a few. So what do you feel are your greatest strengths?
My greatest strength is my energy. Hands down, it comes naturally. And when things are bad, I don't know how it it's so easy for me to flip it, to turn it to a positive. And then if someone's against me, then it really turns up the heat. It's like, okay, let's go, let's charge. So for me, it's definitely my energy. It's just a natural thing that God has given me.
Right. I definitely see you operating your power and strength. And that's why I had to put that on the flyer. Like, hey, she is pushing through this, baby. She is powerful. And honey, I don't even know if I got that type of energy, but I'm ready. I'm ready for the challenge because, we coming into a new year and it's time to get fit and focused.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to look, I want this bikini body. I want it to be I'm striving to get
String
in that bikini.
String bikini?
Yes, that's my goal.
Okay,
that's
you
my
got
goal.
it.
So Tina, I think you would be the greatest person to help me with this goal. Because man, look at you at 50. You're fabulous.
You can. Well, we have class tomorrow, 8 a.m. So if anyone's watching, hit me up. I'll give you the Zoom link. We'll be in there working hard tomorrow morning.
Ooh, I'm looking forward. Okay, so we want to hear the opposite because everything is not always peaches and cream, as we know. So what do you feel like is one of your greatest weaknesses?
Too nice, girl. I'm too freaking nice. Oh my gosh, I can say that. So
I know
quickly.
We gotta be sisters because I have that same issue, Tina. I swear I do. I'm like, I don't even know how to be mean sometimes.
Girl, oh my gosh, I'll make you laugh. One time so during the time of my son's passing or whatever, people were coming after me on Instagram. Like they were coming after me because first, my son was like full of energy. And my daughter would always say, kind of like for your brother, probably, he's not going to want to see me here crying. He's not going to want to see me here eating a bunch of food, getting fat. Like, yo, mom, what's going on? Like, come on. That would be him, So on Instagram, him and I were supposed to go see Tony Robbins together, and I wasn't going to go. This was like a month after he died. So I went to Florida. My daughter came with me, and someone was like, how are you going to that? Like going in. And I went in, and they were like, Mom, that sounds so stupid. Because it's like, I can't be mean. It's like when I try to be mad, I sound real stupid. So I wish I wasn't so nice, but I'm going to turn that around. I want to stay nice. I just want to be able to control it so I don't let people take advantage of me. That's what I'm going to say.
I would say it's just called setting boundaries. We do have to know how to set healthy boundaries, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're mean, and because our time is precious, and people have to know our value that we bring. You understand? So it's nothing wrong with setting boundaries, and I think that's healthy to do so because when we don't, that's when we get burnt out. We feel a little overwhelmed because we're overextending ourselves. So I would definitely say continue to be the beautiful, kind person you are because, man, that's what people are attracted to. That's what they're attracted to your energy, and because you are light. You understand? So I wouldn't change that, and I would never change that about myself. But I do set boundaries nowadays. You understand? Like everybody does not deserve our good energy. You understand?
Thank you.
Right. Everybody don't deserve it. So we got to be very cautious of who we choose to give it to and make sure that they're deserving. Monica, man, she said something that really hit home for me. She was like, people are so quick to fumble the bag. And she wasn't talking about money, okay? She was talking about people of value, okay? People that you encounter once in your lifetime that you will probably never get that opportunity. And I feel like we are the bads, you understand? And sometimes people don't understand like the way that they come off can really be damaging. And when I have a turn off, I cut it off. It's just a hard cut off for me because it's like I know what God is taking me. Right. And we cannot allow someone to come in to disrupt that. We got to stay on our mission. You understand? So it's important as we work with people that they realize, like, when you have good relationships, they are valuable. Don't fumble that bag, okay? Yeah. Don't be careful with that. Be intentional with those relationships. So yes, I concur, Queen. It's okay to set healthy boundaries. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, and it don't make you mean. Okay, it just means you put you first because you have to put on your armor before you can really put on the armor of anybody else and be able to give and support people in that manner.
I agree. I think of it as a cup and the saucer. When you can't fill from an empty cup. So I like to think about the saucer. So you have the saucer, you have the cup, keep pouring in the cup, but I'm giving from the saucer, not from the cup. So I'm giving you my extra.
Right. And then when you all tired and burned out, you're like, okay, and now you have nobody to be mad with but yourself because you didn't set the right boundaries, right? So we have to be intentional about that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do a podcast on that. Let's set these proper boundaries. So yes, Tina, you would definitely have to be there. All right. So my next question would be, who inspired you in your life and why? Why was it such an inspiration to you?
One more time.
Okay, who inspired you within your lifespan and why was this person such an inspiration to you?
Who has inspired me? I think I would say my grandmother and father, just
Okay.
because I saw how hard they worked. As I mentioned, my father died at 49. My grandmother died super young, but they were the hardest working people in the world. My grandmother cleaned houses. My father did everything from building houses, and just seeing their grit and their like, I'm going to get it done, no excuses. When I was a kid, I remember we had a record store. He was working for Pepsi Cola. He was doing this. He had like everything. So they pretty much gave me that foundation where if I wanted something, you can have anything. You just got to work for it. So
Right.
those are the people that made it for me.
Okay, and I think that's good because look, some people are lazy nowadays. They don't want to work hard, and if it's something worth having, you got to work at it. You can't expect for it to just drop within your hand or anything. You know, a lot of the people who are successful, they've been doing it for years and years. We can't expect to be at the year one and expect everything that we desire just to be at our hand tip. You have to be willing to put in the work. So I love that, and just your narrative of how you explain that, very good. All right, so can you tell me about one of the toughest decisions you've had to make within your lifetime?
Oh, girl, that is so simple. Leaving New Jersey. So I'm a Jersey girl. And during COVID, well, 2 weeks before my son was murdered, I met this guy. And the night that he was murdered, I was at his house. And I left. I said, gotta go. And then I called him. I said, my son was murdered, blah, blah, blah. And pretty much I said, you don't have to stay with me because my son died. 2 weeks of meeting someone. He stayed with me. And that whole year, I just want to say, after you lose someone, don't make any major decisions, guys, like getting
I
married
agree.
or moving.
I went through that. Oh, that was probably the worst relationship in my life. Okay, he know who he is. I ain't gonna put him out there, but I
Well,
agree.
I'm not gonna say it was the worst relationship because I always say, I'm sure you heard that Medea story about the tree. People are roots. They're the branches and the leaves. They stay in your life forever, like the roots, or maybe they're like the limbs. But God put him in my life to take care of me because I didn't tell you when my father died, I actually ended up in a mental hospital for 8 weeks because of depression. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, Tina, you got to get your shit together. When my son died, this is what I'm thinking. You got to get right or you're going to be in a hospital again. So God brought him into my life for that. But long story short, the marriage was just like, and I was fighting it, trying to make it work. And right before COVID, actually that Christmas, my sister and her family and her husband's like, oh, you guys should move to Texas. And I'm like, move to Texas? But he wanted it. So I did it because I wanted, when I give my all, I give my all. So, girl, I was the bomb.com in Jersey. Let me tell you, I was
Period.
like,
Don't play with you.
period, Pooh. And I was like, okay, I'll go because he was there for me. So I wanted to give my all to the marriage.
Right.
So we moved to Texas.
Oh, marriage. Hold up.
Yeah, I got married a year after my son. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
that was, so listen to this. My marriage was February 25th. My son died on February 26th. I wanted to get married the day that he was murdered to replace a bad memory with a good one. But my daughter
Right.
was not having that. She was like, yo, Ma, you can't do that. You can't do that. So I did it the day before, a year later. So 2016, my son died. 2017, I got married. And
Okay.
then 2 years later, COVID, we moved to Texas and then he left me. He didn't leave me. We separated. I'll just leave it like that. So that
Right.
was the hardest decision, leaving New Jersey.
Leaving your home state to be with this man, and then it didn't even work out. It's like, oh man, that's
Exactly,
devastating.
girl. Yes.
Yes.
So when you do something, make sure you do it for yourself, not anyone else.
I agree. I agree. In my situation, it was one of my brother's friends, and he kind of came on, was telling me that he was telling my brother he was always interested. And if I really think about it now, I'm thinking like me and my brother was like, that was my boy. That was my go-to person. He was my person. Everybody got that person. He was my person. So I'm like, it's kind of funny you had all these conversations with my brother and he never said nothing to me, but I'm not thinking like that. I'm just thinking, I'm like, oh, great, maybe he did. Maybe this is God putting us together. Yeah,
Oh,
bad
and
decision. But I
did your
mean,
brother ever did your brother ever hook you up with one of his friends? That doesn't even
no,
sound
and
like
I think
him.
he probably would have told me, don't talk to him.
I can't see a brother trying to hook up their sister with anyone.
No, now I've had friends of his that I would be like, "Oh, brother, he'd be like, okay, that's on you, but I don't suggest it. So I take heed to that, and I would just be like, oh, no, it's all good. Because my brother was like, nah, he don't suggest it. He don't recommend. That means you're a dog, period. I know my brother. Roof,
That's
period.
funny.
But yeah, so I don't know, but I feel like, things don't happen to us. They happen for us. We may not understand it. Even with that relationship, I take the good and bad because I had to go through that to really know my value and my worth and what I'm not willing to accept in this current time in my life. Because I'm single. I'm not, and people say, are you happy being single? Absolutely. Do
Oh
I
yes.
want to be in a
Oh yes.
relationship? Absolutely. But with the right person, you understand? So there's no rush to get to the finish line, not for me. There's no rush to get there. When I get there, I get there. And I would know what it looks like when this man presents himself to me. He's going to present himself the right way. You understand? So I attempt to be what I want to attract, if that makes sense. I don't want to
I love
attract the
it.
wrong energy. So I have to be very,
Girl,
whew,
exactly. I mean, if you think about it, the person you are, that's who you're going to attract. So if you're overweight, if you're not healthy, you're going to attract a person that's overweight and not healthy. If you're not making money, you're going to attract someone not making money. So you're just building yourself up so you can get that person. Because if that person who has a 6 figures, 7 figures, he's not going to want someone that's not got their stuff together. You know what I mean?
right.
So you're on the road, girl. You got this.
Yes. So Tina, when did you start? Like, when did you get into your fitness? Was this after your son transition, or were you already kind of
Oh,
into this
oh, I was in
already?
it. I was in it. I was so in it, girl. I was at the peak when he was gone. Like, let me tell you, his sister, the three of us, we called ourselves the Three Musketeers. We were thriving. My daughter was a Nick City dancer in New York. He had a
Okay.
sneaker store. He was about to get another sneaker store. And I was in the best shape of my life, like doing Spartan races, marathons. And again, it just, the thing for me, to be honest with you, is helping other women. The joy I get when I hear someone say, oh my gosh, I lost pounds, or I'm no longer taking blood pressure medication, or I did my first 5K. That is a priceless feeling, like the American Express commercial. So it's just, as the years have gone on, I just think my giving and has gotten so much better. So yeah, I've been in fitness for about 8, 9 years now.
Okay. So I would say you the guru queen. You got this down pat. And so I'm
Yes,
definitely ready
yes.
for the challenge. I don't know. For me, I think I'd be in my own mind. The hardest part is really to get started, because once you get into a routine of anything, then it becomes effortless. And I don't know. I be making up all the excuses in the world why I don't do it. I'm like,
But you know what? I tell people, don't think of it as exercise. I try not to say exercise anymore. And I said, try it. Movement, because you look like you like to dance. Get on a pole, do some pole dancing, go roller skating, go bowling, just as long as we're moving. Park your car a little bit further. You don't have to go do a gym and get on the treadmill or do a 5K. You don't have to do all that. Just move your body and you're good.
Okay, that sounds good. I think I remember, when the Nintendo Wii was first coming out, I was big into like the Just Dance and all of that. I was competing with the kids, letting them know, look, baby, look, your mama may be a little older, but I ain't lost it yet. Okay, so yes, I still got the moves. I still got those
Yes,
moves.
yes, yes. I
All
love it.
right,
I love
and
it.
what made you want to get into fitness? Like, what did the passion come from?
It definitely was given to me, as I mentioned earlier. I believe in life, we all have things we want to do, right? Like, I went to a
Hmm.
performing arts school. I thought I was going to be an actress, a model, but then I had my daughter, which I don't regret at all. And God just kind of placed this on me. And I think because of my energy, I'm able to persuade women and say, hey, come on, let's do this, and let them realize how much fun it is. Because once you start feeling good, you're like, oh, this exercise thing, it works. It's like crack. Once you really get it, I mean, I've never done crack. Don't get
Me
me wrong.
neither. Me neither, girl. Crack kills, y'all. Don't do crack. Don't do drugs.
Yes, but when you're working out, it's this high that happens in your body. And then when you're around people like that, oh, it's just bananas after that.
Yeah, and I've had little bits and pieces of it in my lifespan. I will say, I remember one time, you know how you put on weight and you just going about life, so you're not even looking at yourself in that parameter. But one day I walked past the mirror and I was like, "Dang, girl, you fat." I said it to myself. Nobody didn't have to tell me. I just looked at myself and I just felt fat. I just did. And so I had a good friend. We was each other's accountability partners, and I had just lost my job, so I'm like, I got all this time in the world at this point. We started hitting the gym. At first, when we first started, we was going 5 days a week. By that weekend, girl, I couldn't even walk. I was like, oh no, I overdid it. Like I literally overdid. I could not walk.
I
Seriously.
love it. I love
But
it.
by the second week, I was like in that routine. I almost felt guilty not doing it,
Yep.
Like I had to do it.
I was going to say a lot of people think they have to exercise to lose weight. And there's so many other factors that come into play. First of all, if you're over 40, well, first of all, if you're in your 20s, it's easy to lose weight. Like you said, you just do a couple jumping jacks, boom, you lose the weight. Your 30s, okay, I got to watch what I eat. 40s, Lord of mercy, it's over. You look at a piece of cake, it's going to hit your thighs. And 50 now, it's just ridiculous. I'm telling you the truth, girl. Make sure you exercise now. I wish someone would have told me. But with the fitness journey, I build my program on 4 pillars, and this is what we need. It's not just exercise. First
Okay.
of all, the way you look. 80% of the way you look is by what you're eating. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
eating bonbons and chitterlings and whatever the freak, you're wasting your time exercising. 80% is by what you look, 10% is your genes, what your family looks like, and the other 10% is exercise. So I say that to say you can exercise till the cows come home, but if you're eating crap, it's a waste of time. So the 4 pillars I work on with my program with all my clients, and again, this is from experience. The first
Mm-hmm.
pillar is mindset. And the cool thing about mindset is it works for not only fitness, but finances, relationships, everything in your life starts with your mindset. You have to believe that you can do it. The second pillar is heart set.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what separates the winners from the losers, the people that are going to do it. Think of Kobe Bryant, think of Michael Jordan. Last year, I did my very first marathon in Paris, a goal I wanted to do forever. If you didn't know,
Wow.
a marathon is 26.3 miles. That's a long thing. All right. I had to
Wow.
get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to train. That's that heart set. So you have to find out what your passion is, peel that onion down. And I said, your why should be so big it makes you cry. Your why should be so big it makes you need the help from God. That's the second pillar, your heart set. The third pillar is nutrition. Like I said, I talked about the food. And the last one, that little tiny one, exercise. So those are the 4 pillars. And when you unite all those together, you're fabulous. You're wonderful.
Oh, okay. Well, it don't even sound as hard as I'm thinking, Like I'm over here, I get the sweater, I get anxiety when I start thinking. I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And then when people keep coming, you just need to ask. I'm like, look, I'm gonna do it. I'm
Don't,
ready when it's
you
my
don't,
time.
you
But
don't.
what better time to start than now? This is the time, It's like we're not getting any younger. And I know, girl, listen, I don't start feeling in my bones. I be having little aches here and then. I'm like, okay, because my body is telling me, like, you look, sis, you need to take better care of me.
Yes, and it's so simple. I mean, if we do look, and you know what's so crazy? We know everything already. We know that we're supposed to drink water. First of all, however much you weigh. If you weigh 200 pounds, drink half your body weight in ounces, 100 ounces a day. Drink some water. Intermittent fasts. I suggest you start that right. Oh, man, I meant to take that off. Swoop by that one right there. Swoop by that 8 a.m. um, fasting, intermittent fasting works so good. 12 hours, just the little secrets like that. And I just wanted to share really quick. You're talking about the end of the year. I don't know if you do vision boards. I don't know if you're into vision boards. I would like to invite you and your family, your loyalty family and friends, to my vision board events. I do this every year, but this current year I decided to do it every quarter. I'm gonna show you. This is
Okay.
one of my vision boards from last year. This is my business vision board. Do you have a vision board?
I didn't do one this year. I didn't. I don't
Okay,
know
okay.
why I missed the mark and why I didn't, but I did not do one this year.
I
But
get you.
I'm
I
gonna
get you.
make an effort to make sure I come to your vision board party
Yes,
this year for
yes.
sure.
This is one for my, I have one for my business and one for my personal life. So, oh, you put it up there, vision board party. So pretty much there's homework ahead of time because you have to visualize it. You have to put things out there, what you want. And last year, December, to be honest with you, I put a vision board together, but I was kind of like, I was scared, girl, because the prior year was probably the best year of my life. I went to Paris. I did a marathon. Like everything was booming. I was like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen next year? I was scared. So
Right.
I did a vision board and I can show it, but it was so commercial, so like bland. So in February, I knew I was turning 50 this year, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And I was thinking travel, but I travel a lot, so that wasn't really that appealing to me. Party, I don't want to party because when people throw parties, they're spending money on other people. So my friend said, well, Tina, you always wanted to donate sneakers. And if you go to lionhearted.app, the person who's doing your wonderful board there, I
Right.
decided to donate 100 pairs of sneakers to Nigeria in honor of my son. Because when he passed away, we noticed there was a room, they had a room where they had sneakers where people would donate, he'd give them like 20, $30. And when
Mm.
this happened, I wanted to ship these sneakers to Africa. But for some reason, I wasn't able to do that. Long story short, I decided to collect 100 sneakers. I found someone who lived in Nigeria and contacted the school. And I said, how many kids in the school? I did a live with them on YouTube. And he says, well, we have 200 X amount of students. And I was like, well, wow, if I could, and I just do 100 out of my head because 100 sounds good, right? So I
Right.
was like, well, Tina, you got to do more than 100 if it's over 200 kids. Like some people aren't going to have sneakers. So my friend, she's like, Tina, you got it. We're doing 300. I said, how the heck are we getting 300 pairs of sneakers, girl? I'm like, we collected the sneakers. We have
Right.
collected 300 pairs of sneakers. And I decided to go a
Wow.
little bit further. Oh my gosh, where's my creed? So I designed this creed, and the creed is something that, oh my gosh, see, if my Renee was here, she'd have it for me. It's this thing that I put together. It's 10 things my son said to, oh, she's got it up there. So great. So he was into motivational speaking a lot. And when he was gone, I asked a lot of his friends, what are some things he taught you? So we got all the things he said and we wrote them down and we call it Molly's Creed because I didn't tell you this. I started a nonprofit program as well because one of his friends said they told him, they had a conversation like your brother did and said, well, if you die, what do you want? And he said, well, if I die, I want a program named after myself. Who says that? Who does that? My son. So a month after he passed away, I started a nonprofit. We called it the Molly Gaines Program. And when we first started, I had so many people helping me. We had the boys come on the weekends. And I had volunteers come and teach them different things like how to tie a tie. I wanted them to learn how to open a door for a lady, you know.
I know that's
Well,
right. We need gentlemen. We need nice men out here
yes,
who do
yes,
still do
yes, yes.
chivalry.
Exactly. So fast forward because we're at 7 years. February is going to be 7 years that he's been gone. So I put these 10 things into a creed, and it's pretty much. Oh, it's right here in front of me. See, I have it all over myself. I'm going to read it if you may. Here it is. The Molly Creed. These are things he said to other people. I will be legit. I will be a man of my word. I will do the right thing. I will have good customer service. I will present myself correctly. I will respect my money. I will take care of my family. I will strive to do better. I will do things on time. I will make smart decisions. 21 years old, coming up with that. Like, really? That was
That's
I can't,
amazing. And I'm
right?
gonna tell you, I truly feel like the future. Okay, let's talk about the future, right? The future to me are things that we write and that we speak into the atmosphere. If you don't write and speak it into the atmosphere, then you truly can't manifest it in your future. So that's why I like the vision board party that you were speaking about because that's already the written part of it. Okay, and the more you speak it and you looking at your vision board and you saying these things, I remember 2020 I wrote a vision board, and part of my vision board was to do more traveling. Being a young mother, I was a mother at 17, so a lot of things I didn't get to do at a younger age because I had to sacrifice for the sake of my kids to make sure they had a good life and they had the necessities and the things that they needed. So when I came to Clubhouse, and I love Clubhouse, but so y'all, if y'all not on Clubhouse, please follow us because we are big on Clubhouse, man. Come to Loyalty and Friends. And who are my friends? Tina, you my friend. Ashley, all these great, amazing people here on our live. I want to shout out to you all. Thank y'all so much, man, because without each and every one of you, this wouldn't be possible. We need supporters, okay? And that's what community is about, common unity, okay? But the future for me, as I stated, is things that are written and spoken. Okay. So if you really want to manifest your future, write it down. And also speaking into the atmosphere, the more you speak it, the more it becomes true. I had the opportunity, since I've been on Clubhouse, I met some amazing people in person. Okay. I met Ashley in person. She came and flew here for my birthday. And man, that was That was one of the best birthdays ever. I say that it don't take much for me, you know, to woo me. Period. And the fact that she did that grand gesture, I don't take it lightly. So I truly appreciate her for that. But I had the opportunity to go to Minnesota, Chicago, Dallas. I went to Virginia. I went to Louisiana. Went to Florida. I went to a lot of different states, all within a year span. Okay. And we're talking about the young girl who from Atlanta who never really had the opportunity to really travel. So that was big for me, you know. But you have to keep writing these things out. You got to put it in the atmosphere. Otherwise, it would never manifest itself. You know, it just stays stuck. It's like a woulda, coulda, shoulda. I don't want to live my life like that, you know. I want to just say, hey, I live with purpose. I did what God intended for me to do. I served his mission, you know, because it's not about us, okay? We are here to be servitude to others, you know, to give value to other people, you know, so we can gain those benefits back through our good works, you know. So I love what you're doing. And anyway, I can dial
Yay!
in, Queen,
Yay!
you know,
Yes,
and
I'll make
sometimes
sure
it's
I'll
what
give
it
you the
takes. It takes
info.
a conversation so we can truly get to know one another and just see like, hey, we really got way more in common than what we even think, you know?
Yes, yes, yes. And one more thing I want to share with you because you're talking about business, you're talking about the future, and you don't know what you don't know. And I always say your vibe is your tribe, your vibration, the people that you're around. The reason why we got together was because of Ashley, or because of Ashley was because of Cynthia, or because of Cynthia was because of Clubhouse. It's all about connecting, collabing, and I'm talking about cashing in. And that comes with an event that I'm putting together. It's a free event. I want to invite you. If I didn't have all my speakers, I'd have you speaking, but I'll have you in March. But I'm doing an event. It's called Elevate Your Business. I have 10 different speakers coming through, and each speaker specializes in something that will help elevate your business, whether it's podcasts, whether it's TED Talks, whether it's talking in front of a camera, Canva, you name it, LinkedIn, building up your social media. It's December 17th, the day before the vision board event, and it's absolutely free. So I want to invite you and your friends to sign up for that as well.
Yes, I would be honored to be a part. So let us know, how can the community support you all? Okay, I think that's very big, you know, and that's part of this, you know, podcast is to really get you the support that you need for your community as well. So what is the best way that our community and as an overall can support you and what you have going on? And then also let the people know the best way to contact and connect with you, Queen.
Yes, yes. So the easiest way, because we like to keep things simple, right? Super, there it is. Elevate your business. It's absolutely free. The easiest way is starswithaztina.com. If you type in your computer www.starswithaztina.com, it has all the links of everything I'm doing, all the events from the vision board events to jewelry. I make jewelry as well during COVID. You know, I got bored. I started making some jewelry. So I have jewelry. I also designed a candle called the Divinity, which is my daughter. It's made of sage and lavender. You know, I'm always talking about my daughter. I miss her so much. She lives in California. She just turned 30. I just turned 50. So we're like celebrating our 50th this
Hey.
year. But if you go to starstina.com, it has everything on there from the vision board event. And like I said, we are a community. So when you join our tribe, you're with us for life. We have an online running club, which we do with the Nike running app. And every quarter, usually every month, we have something, we have challenges. So get connected to us. If you need a community that's going to keep you accountable, if you need someone that's going to be that shoulder to cry on when you need someone to talk to, you know, if you come to me and you're like, Tina, I need money. Great. I'm going to teach you how to make money. All right. I'm
That
not going to
part.
sit there. I'm not going to give you the money. You got to work. Okay.
No, because
It's
that
like,
that's how we enable people. We have
yep,
to give them the tools so that way they ain't never got to be broke again. Okay, if you know, if you
exactly.
learn the craft of it, you understand that's way more valuable than someone just handing you over some money. You know, so I agree.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I hate the excuses, girl. People say, I can't do this way. Let me teach you. Okay. You want to make some money? Let's do it. Get to work. But some
Right.
people don't want to put in the work. They want to be given, you know, everything. So
Yes. Yes. And so you all, this has been an amazing, amazing podcast for sure, Tina. And we'll have to do this again for sure. Maybe, you
yes,
know,
you're
get an
amazing. You're
update in a
fun.
couple months. Just let people know how you
When I
doing.
when I
Yes.
finally get my podcast, knock on some wood. Oh, I want to show you something. Did I show you my
Oh,
Emmy? This is we did a documentary about my son and his story won an Emmy from Crime News.
oh
Yes,
wow.
I just
Look
want
at
to show
that.
that. A real live Emmy from News 5. Just want to show
Wow, that's amazing, Tina. That is so amazing. So, man, listen, you all, make sure you all connect with Tina Wilson. Follow her at, what is it? I am Stars Tina. Right. I am
That's
Stars
it.
Tina. Pretty much on almost all your social media platforms, I believe. And what's your website one more time for them so they can tap in?
The one that gets you everything, starstina.com.
All right, and that starts with a Z, okay? Get it right, period. And also make sure you all come to our community as well, Loyalty and Friends. As y'all know, you all are my friends, so without you, it's not possible. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Loyalty in Everything, and that's no slang, okay? Spell it out. Loyalty, in everything. Spell it out. But man, I have to tell them that because look, we ain't talking slang. We want to talk the right, proper way, okay? Got to teach our people. But man, what an
Look
honor!
at Larry.
I thank you so
Look at
much,
Larry.
Tina. You are amazing, man, and wow, I'm just blessed to get to know you more on a personal level.
I think this is the beginning of a great future because I'm sure there's other things we didn't tap into. I didn't know about your brother until now, and I know there's women out there who are struggling. Especially, you have the perception of brother sister, and I've got the mother daughter. So maybe we can put some type of event together in the future for people because I can't relate to my daughter. I don't know what she's going through, and you can't relate to moms. So if you're out there watching this and you need some type of something, let us know and maybe we'll put it together.
And you all, if you would like to join us on Clubhouse as well, we're just gonna have a little chat about how this podcast was because it was a banger. Okay, make sure y'all tap in. You can watch this. It will be uploaded to YouTube, Facebook, okay, Twitch, Twitter, name it. Okay, we're gonna put it out there for the world to see it because she needs all the support. And join this fitness challenge, man. Join the fitness challenge. You're gonna see me there, okay, more often.
Yay!
Typically during the week, that 8 o'clock time is gonna be a hard one for me because
it's really
that's when I start working.
It's really 6 a.m. That's when class starts. 6 a.m.
Okay. So listen, you no excuses now. I have no excuses, and I'm trying to get in this bikini. Y'all. So yes, y'all join me on this.
So what you should do? Put the bikini on now, so you can look at yourself and say, "Okay, I got to do a little work." That'll motivate you. Once you put it on, I think I'm gonna do the same thing too.
All right. Yes. So we're gonna bring this to a close, man. Support my girl Tina Wilson, man. And with that being said, Loyalty and Friends will be tapping out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye, y'all. Till next time.